everyone, my name is Acapella, and today I'll be bringing you the first episode in my brand new coaching series, where we'll be taking a look at proper character positioning in Overwatch. Now, if you don't know what that means, basically positioning is where you are standing or moving before, during, and after a team fight. As a coach, I see a lot of players struggle with proper positioning, which in turn stops them from improving and climbing SR, even if their mechanics are very good. In this series, I'll be covering various characters on all different map types, but in this video, we're starting with the flex support Ana on the control map Busan. As a side note, I can't possibly show every single optimal place to play on every single map, but I will try to highlight the two most important places designated by the color red for the standard place to play, and blue as a second option, usually used when playing against snipers like Widow or Hanzo. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Busan is the newest control map to the game. This map, just like the other control maps, is split up into 3 points: Downtown, Sanctuary, and Mechabase. Do keep in mind that control points are mostly symmetrical, so I'll only be showing one side since it's the same on the other side. So we'll start here on Downtown. The standard first fight will break out here. So you need to stick behind your team and look to rotate over to this circular structure here. If you don't win or lose the fight right away, the fight will move slowly to point. When that happens, you need to begin moving over to the stairs here, where you can pocket your team with a good amount of cover left. If you lose the fight and have to recontest, stick to the same approach or follow your team and stick to cover if they take a different rotation. If you win the fight, you want to either play here, near your team, on the stairs, or back here, depending on how comfortable you are with your mechanics. If the enemy team has snipers, you need to make an extra emphasis on taking cover, as it's very easy to get your head taken off by a Widow on this map. Take an approach from this right side, and stick to the stairs when fighting whenever possible. Up next is Sanctuary. Sanctuary has a ton of different places to play at, so keep in mind things can change based on your team comp and enemy team comp. To start, teams will usually look for a fight on this drum on the left side of point by the stairs, or right side of point. For the drum, you can just stick behind your team, and as your team rotates to point, you can stick in this little breakable window area. If you fight on point straight away, either play on these stairs on the left, or right in this little high ground gap area. If you lose, the placement will stay the same, but if you win, you can look to either play up by the drum here, or stick back in your original spot depending on how aggressive your team wants to push. Against snipers, you'll need to be careful of cover once again. They'll look to take one of these 3 angles here, here, and here. So, change up your position accordingly, as no cover is safe from all 3. If your team pushes through the drum, look to play in this window again, unless you know their snipers are in your line of sight. Otherwise, you want to play way off on this right angle for all fights to keep yourself safe from the most common sniper angles. Push up to point when you know it's clear, and you can get a better angle on your team. Finally, we have Mechabase. The first fight will almost always start either here or here. If the fight is not won immediately, it will then transition to point just like Downtown did. For this, you'll want to play around these corners in line of sight of your team so you have a health pack to work around while also being covered. As the fight moves to point, you'll either want to stay on the high ground here or move down the stairs where you'll be safer from the enemy team. You may have to move slightly if the movable cover comes up mid-fight. If the fight is lost, look to stay safe behind your team, then look for the same angles as you push in. And if the fight is won, look to play closer to your team here as you hold the enemy in a choke. If the enemy has snipers, you don't have to change your play too drastically. Look to hug cover once again, and play to either the left or right of this area depending on where the enemy team is peeking from. You can also potentially hold underneath this right side if the sniper is constantly taking this top right angle. And that's all I have for you today. Keep in mind that not every position I mentioned is exactly how you have to play every single time, but it's more of a guideline for you to follow as you improve more and more. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell icon, as I have plenty of content planned for the near future with coaching videos as well as edits. So look forward to them. Have a good one, and I'll see you later.